What's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? It is February 8th, 2021, and today it must be Monday. Unfortunately, once again. Man, what did you guys think about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw? Let me know down in the chat. Let me know what you guys thought. How are you guys doing as well? Obi James says, my whole big oof 2021. That's that pretty much sums it all up right there. Pretty much sums it all up. All right, let's go see. Let's see who's here tonight. Everyone's saying my whole, my whole. Philip, good to see you, my friend. The lad, Robert, Soham, nice to see you. I saw first. Good to see you again. Gar, Obi James, Basili, Flash. Let's see here. King, Alex Silver, how you doing, my friend? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Bob? Bob says Raw isn't really bad by this point, just boring. Like if it was at least 2 hours, it would be passable. If tonight's episode of Raw was 2 hours, I probably would have been stomachable. I think so. Tonight, at least tonight. Tonight wasn't the worst episode of Raw, in my opinion. But it was very, very boring. Very boring. Nothing is going on, and I'm not invested in anyone. Like, I don't care about anyone or anything that's going on. It just doesn't, nothing matters. Nothing matters. I think that is the best way to put it. It's just that nothing matters. Bro says if we don't get Woods versus Reckoning, we riot. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see that happening. Vasily says I agree. Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. 100%, man. 100%. It would be so much better. King D says it's time for us to fantasy book now. Good flow, nothing crazy though. I wish someone would come in and book these shows better. Good Lord. Mali says I feel like SmackDown was the chicken salad while Raw was the chicken shit. Oof. That is what we call a big oof right there. Big oof. I mean, SmackDown benefits from being 2 hours long, but at the same time, SmackDown isn't all that great most of the time either. So, how's it going, Hoodie? Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. OB James says no Alexa and no Carlito. 0 out of 10. Yeah, I was actually very surprised to not see Carlito on the show. I figured that he would be sticking around, and I guess not. No Fiend, no Alexa Bliss, no Braun Strowman. Despite him returning at the Royal Rumble, he wasn't on SmackDown, and he was not on the last 2 episodes of Raw either. Makes absolutely no sense. No Hack says, have we started yet? No, just kicking things off, my friend. Just kicking things off. We are going to do things a little bit different today, and I'll tell you all in just a minute what the plan is. Tam versus AEW for creative team. I don't think I could hang, man. I don't think I could hang. Anthony says, I'm here to get that daily Alistair out of the way. There is no news for Alistair Black, unfortunately. Nothing going on for Alistair Black, which is such a shame because the guy is so talented. So talented. Gar says, was Alexa maybe gone because her recent stalker situation? It's very possible. Very possible. But I don't know. I have no idea. This whole Alexa Fiend thing seems kind of weird. I think that we've passed the time where the Fiend should have returned or have started teasing a return. And now it's a little bit late as well because you have Randy Orton tied up in this Elimination Chamber stuff. So next week it's not going to happen. And then the following week, the weekend, is the Elimination Chamber. No Hack says, Alexa has a stalker. Can you tell me the story? So, I mean, I can tell you what I know of it. I don't know too much, but apparently there is some creep on Twitter that claims that he is actually married to Alexa Bliss, and he is her husband. And I believe at one point or another, he said that he was going to kill Ryan Cabrera, which is her fiance now, I believe. He said he was going to kill him and then take back what's his. And he said that he was going to be paying her a visit at her home in Orlando or something like that. Just went kind of creepy and all of that. So Gar says he claims that Ryan Cabrera kidnapped her and abused her too. Man, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with people on the internet, man? Especially I wonder if they're taking this really seriously because of what happened to Sonya Deville with all of that. There was literally a man inside of Sonya Deville's house, and he said that he was going to kill who was with her, which I believe we all think was Mandy Rose. And that was at 3:00 in the morning or something like that. So crazy. Absolutely crazy. People are sick and weird, and apparently she's blocked them a bunch of times, but they continue to show up with different accounts. So it's very possible that that's the reason why she wasn't there. It's very possible that this is getting taken very seriously by everyone involved because of the other Sonya Deville stuff. So it's possible. It's possible. Anthony says, AOW, no need to rush, but what happened to the 1,000 subscriber special? Yeah, so we were going to do that yesterday, but the Super Bowl ran later than I had imagined, and I didn't really want to not compete because I can't compete with the Super Bowl and whatsoever, but I didn't want to be on at the same time as the Super Bowl, and the post Super Bowl show went on a little bit longer where they named the MVP and all of that, so I figured we would just do it on Tuesday or Thursday this week. But here's the problem. Tomorrow I have a meeting far away. I have to go to a meeting in the morning that's about an hour away from me. So I'm not quite sure what time I'm going to be home tomorrow. So here, since I'm glad that you asked that question. So here is what the plan is for tonight. I plan on not diddling around here at the beginning. And I think what we're going to do is run through the entire show at the start of this podcast. So we're actually going to go over Raw in its entirety at the beginning. And then when we're done, what we'll do is we'll open it up for a little bit of Q&A and just kind of hanging out and chatting. During that time, we will open up Discord. So if anyone wants to just hop in and like chat about anything, whatever, you don't have to ask me anything. You could just talk about an idea or like, I don't care. I don't care what it is. So we'll do that in the second half of the show. That way we can kind of get something as a 1,000 subscriber special. And then, you know, if I can get to it on Tuesday or Thursday this week, we will. I won't be able to do it on Saturday this week because I will be doing the NXT predictions video, and then there will be probably a predictions live stream if I can make it on Saturday. It is supposed to snow like crazy here, so it might very well be possible that I'll be just stranded here all day. And then Sunday, of course, is Valentine's Day and NXT TakeOver, so there will be an NXT TakeOver post show as well, so we can't do it then. So first half of the show tonight is going to be a Raw review, probably like it should be all the time. Once we're done, we're just gonna rush. We'll get through Raw. We'll get this crap out of the way, and then we'll open it up and we'll just do whatever for the rest of the show. Probably like we usually go about 2 hours, so we'll probably go to like the 2 hour mark or something like that. Bob says, do you live on the West Coast? Yes, I live in Oregon. Yes. Ryan says, you live on the West Coast? I live in New York, and we've been getting killed with snow lately. Yeah, so I live in Oregon, and it snowed last week for me for a very brief period of time, just a couple hours, and it was all gone in the morning. But I believe from like Thursday on, we're just supposed to get dumped on. Let me double check here. Well, my weather app does not want to open. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, snow for us. So, ooh. You should do a combined New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact show on Thursdays since they have a show now. I've thought about doing more shows. So originally what I wanted to do was an Impact show on Tuesday and then an NXT show on Thursday. I wanted to cut NXT out of Wednesdays and just move it to Thursday. So I would watch it at 5 p.m. on Thursday and then go through the entire show and then do a post show afterwards. But it's also kind of difficult because we've got a lot going on right now. Like we're buying a kitchen suite for our house as well. So I need to be out and I need to go do all that. And so there's just a lot going on. And I don't want to start something and not be consistent with it. That was the whole thing with me not starting the podcast, was because I didn't want to start it and then not be consistent when we moved, because we were in the house buying process before. And so I finally started it up when we moved, and I would have the time to do it every week. So I don't want to start something and then not do it later on. And speaking of starting things, I have 3 show ideas that I'm working on, which I will talk about after we talk about Raw tonight. I want to go ahead and get into Raw, run through this stuff as fast as we possibly can, and then we'll open it up to everyone and we'll just kind of hang out and chat. Molly says, did you know it's been 5 years since Daniel Bryan announced his retirement on Raw? Really? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. What the hell is a hog dipper? I've never heard that before in my life. What the hell is a hog dipper? A deadlock? Does this have to do with pulse and deadlock? That's a hilarious thing to call your fan base. Oh my god, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I haven't checked out what they do, but I do follow Pulse on YouTube and all of that stuff. That is hilarious. That is hilarious though. Wow. Okay, that's really funny. I'll have to check it out. I know that they do some stuff and all that, but I haven't really checked it out. Where's Carlito? I have no clue, man. I really thought he would be on the show. Anthony says, I feel like WWE is taking baby steps and making the show better. Possibly. This show wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched, but it was just so boring. So boring. Vanch, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you as well. You should check them out. They're awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love Pulse. And what is it? The New Legacy guys is on there as well. So yeah, I just haven't had time, and I've been so busy with everything. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I actually do want to start listening to a couple people's shows and stuff like that, just so that I can see what everyone else is doing and what I'm lacking. You know, I've only been doing this for what, 2 months now, I think. Whenever AEW Winter is Coming that was the very first show that I did. So I'm still very new to it. I'm still learning. I still have a long ways to go before I reach the likes of the greats. Andre says nothing relevant happened tonight other than them announcing a ton of Elimination Chamber matches. Yes, I would agree. Flash says, first unpopular opinion of the night, I'm tired of Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I can't relate on that one. I can't relate on that one. I like Bobby Lashley. I love where Bobby Lashley is right now, and I think he's doing fantastic. I just think that he should be in the World Championship picture at this point. That's just me. Bro says, what do you think of Bad Bunny in WWE? I enjoy it because you can tell he's a fan. Some of my friends that don't watch wrestling ask me about it because they like Bad Bunny, which is cool. I don't have a problem with it. I think I talked about this. Philip, relax, bro. We don't know where Carlito is. I don't know. He was not on the show. There's no need to spam. And I already answered that. So why are you spamming it? You got to chill on the spam. Anyways, back to Bad Bunny here. I don't mind it. I have no problem with it. He's a huge wrestling fan, and the stuff that he's done has been completely fine. And to find out that he loves the business and that he's training and doing all of this stuff is incredible. Like, I have absolutely no complaints about that. If anyone else is a celebrity and they want to do the same thing, good for them. Like, I have absolutely no problems with that. The only time where I have problems with things like this is when people come in and they just legit insert themselves into the World Championship scene. They don't do any of the work. We saw that with Cain Velasquez, with Brock Lesnar, and all of that. And just not for me, man. Not for me. We saw that with the other guy as well. I can't remember his name. The Gypsy King. Tyson Fury. We saw that as well with him. Like, that stuff, those two examples are not what I want to see. I have absolutely no interest in that sort of stuff. But this Bad Bunny stuff, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. He's probably putting a lot of eyes on Damian Priest. I think someone in last week's post show said that Damian Priest got like a huge increase of followers on social media after all of that stuff as well, thanks to Bad Bunny. So I have absolutely no problem with any of that. No problem. You know, the Nexus will return at WrestleMania 37. At WrestleMania 37. I haven't heard anything or seen anything about any of this. Sportskeeda, though. Rumors are circulating that Nexus would make an appearance during WrestleMania 36 to surprise fans. While the same did not happen, it seemed like quite a number of fans were in favor of seeing the Nexus return. Okay, yeah, this is a lot. I hate Sportskeeda. They put like one article in 10 different pages, and you got to go through all of it. Like, no thanks. You heard Bow Wow trying out for WWE? I didn't, but I did see that he posted a tweet of him with like a championship and said that he's coming for the title or something. Lily says the Raw Women's Championship is a joke. I agree. Punk says, I didn't like tonight's Raw main event. Me either, man. Gar says, what was the point of Shane McMahon being there? I have no idea. So perfect that you asked that. That's where the show started off. So let's go ahead and start the show here right at the beginning. I completely missed the first like 8 minutes of this show. So I have no idea what happened between Shane McMahon and everyone's favorite authority, not so authority figure, Adam Pearce. Absolutely no clue. All that my fiance and I, we were watching BTE. So I didn't cut in until that was over. So like I said, I was about 8 minutes late. And I did see that they announced that the WWE Championship will be defended at the Elimination Chamber. So, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, The Miz, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. Why? Why are these the people that are in this match? Especially with everything that was going on, it definitely seemed like we should have just gotten Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Right? I mean, that makes a lot more sense to me. And then you could have some sort of qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. They probably can't do tag team ones this year. They don't have any. So why not? I mean, yeah, man, I think they should have done like a world championship #1 contender match for one of them. And then they could have done like the Raw Women's Championship in one as well. Or maybe even just a women's contender one as well. I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell. It's hard to kind of book how this is going when these shows are so meaningless. Philip, we already looked it up, man. You gotta chill. You only have to say things once. I see it. I promise you I see it. And we'll get to it when there's something to talk about it there. Anyways, it's kind of hard to book these. It's kind of hard to care about what's going on in these when none of these people really have any momentum. You could argue that Sheamus does because the last couple matches he had have been great. And he actually has a personal relationship with Drew McIntyre and all of that stuff. So, and he turned on him. So that one makes sense to me. That one completely makes sense. The Miz does not. Why is The Miz in the Elimination Chamber, man? What is going on? Why is that a thing? The Miz, he's the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. What is he doing in the Elimination Chamber? Why didn't they put John Morrison in instead? Not that he is deserving of being in the match either, but I mean, why not? Why not? Why not Matt Riddle? Why not Keith Lee? Keith Lee would have been a way better choice than The Miz. That's for sure. That is 100% for sure. I mean, I can't complain about where Keith Lee is right now because the United States Championship match will be good. Deshaun says, take out The Miz and add Goldberg. No, please, God, no. Please, God, no. Soham says, you have Mustafa Ali too. Yeah, but he's kind of revolved in a feud with Woods and Kofi Kingston at the moment. Why not Braun? That's a good question, Anthony. That's a good question. Where is Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman returned on the Go Home episode of SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. He was in the Royal Rumble, and now he has not been on anything. He hasn't been on SmackDown. He hasn't been on Raw, which is where he's supposed to be. And it's been 2 weeks now. Very interesting. Maybe his participation in the Royal Rumble was last minute. Maybe they brought him back to fill in a slot that they didn't have. Like maybe someone got COVID or had to quarantine or something like that. I guess that would be a pretty solid guess. I saw a question that I wanted to answer and now I can't find it. Jaden says, it's a shame what the Money in the Bank briefcase has become. It really is, man. It really is. Gil says WWE has nothing for wrestlers to do. I would kind of agree. Vance says, I don't see The Miz getting the WWE title. I don't either. I don't think there's any chance in hell that The Miz is going to be able to do that. And I said earlier that I think what I kind of hope happens here so that we're just over and done with is that I hope that The Miz gets eliminated. maybe The Miz starts it off, right? Maybe The Miz is one of the first two people in the Elimination Chamber. Maybe he's the first one eliminated because that's how The Miz gets booked. And then he cashes in to get a second opportunity in the match as well. I wouldn't mind that, just to get it out of the way. I think it'd be pretty unique as well. So I don't know. Lily says Edge is playing too many games. Like, tell us it's Roman already so the bloodline goes to Raw. Is he he's still Philip, my friend? We know that you like the Nexus. We know that you like Carlito. All right. But you got to chill with the spam. I get it. I got to put you in a timeout. Okay. Got to put you in a timeout. How's it going, Lug? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. I haven't been on the streams because I just haven't been watching Raw. Hey, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Gar says, I saw someone post Priest, Bad Bunny versus Morrison Miz at Mania. Yeah, that was me. Because Ryan Satin posted that. God. And we'll talk about the Edge stuff when we get there. But that was the opening of tonight's show. The first match of the night was AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy. I didn't have a problem with this match. I didn't pay too close attention to it or anything. But from what I saw, it looked like a pretty good match. AJ Styles he's no longer the dream killer for the Royal Rumble. Now he's out here crushing the dreams of the participants of the Elimination Chamber. Warrior says AJ versus Jeff felt like it should have been a qualifier match. It was a pointless match, to be honest. What I was kind of thinking from it is that with Jeff selling the leg injury and AJ using that to tap him out, I wonder if Jeff Hardy's going to get pulled from the Elimination Chamber and they'll have someone else come in. That was something that was running through my mind when I saw him working the leg, and they were playing it up during the whole entire time. It's the only thing that I can think of that was Jeff Hardy is going to be out of the Elimination Chamber and someone's going to take his spot. Who, I have no idea, but just a thought. And to go off of that even more, Warrior, I really wish that they would have had qualifier matches, because then at least, you can't, I guess you could complain about someone being in a qualifying match, but at least they'd have to have a reason to get there. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, this match was good. AJ said, like I said, AJ gets the win here, makes Jeff Hardy tap out. Maybe Brock returns to take Jeff's spot. Oh, that'd be crazy. It'll actually be kind of crazy if we don't get Brock before WrestleMania, or even at WrestleMania. I think a lot of us have been expecting him to be here for quite a while. Van says, hey, by the way, what is the matter with 205 Live? Why are some superstars who are not even cruiserweight or just challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship? I have no clue. Maybe they're just trying to find something for them to do. Maybe they're trying to get their ratings up. Maybe, I don't know. They were doing the Dusty Classic qualifying matches over on 205 Live as well. So Killian Dane was on 205 Live, and they actually had women's tag team matches on 205 Live as well, which was kind of weird. Anthony says, if AJ wins the Elimination Chamber, we could see Edge versus AJ for the WWE Championship. We could. I have no idea what's going to happen at WrestleMania. It's kind of crazy. I have some ideas. So 2 videos that I hope to make this week are on Edge and Bianca Belair. Each one will have their own, and I kind of want to deep dive on who their WrestleMania opponents could be and my list and why I think that should be the list. Yeah, hopefully this week. I think I have the formula for the videos down enough to where I can do it. So yeah, plan on those. Hopefully those 2 videos this week, and then the NXT takeover predictions video as well. But I think that one's going to be super easy, to be honest. I think that one's pretty straightforward. And there's only like 4 or 5 matches too, so should be an easy one to do. Cesaro should have been in the chamber match, Universal title. I wouldn't have minded that. Like, if they had Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, and then they had a #1 contenders match in the Elimination Chamber for the Universal Championship, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. And you know, like, we still have SmackDown, so they're probably going to dump a bunch of matches on us again, which could be interesting. You know, maybe they could do an Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber. You know, they they love to throw Big E and Apollo Crews together in Intercontinental Championship matches lately. So Big E, Apollo Crews, man, I don't know. It's possible though. It's possible. Mally Man says, if Gold does have a match at WrestleMania, who should he face? Probably Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns would be my guess. Warrior says, I'm all for AJ versus Triple H at Mania. Outside of Shinsuke, AJ has a Mania record of facing older gen guys. Yeah, I would love to see AJ versus Triple H. I'm totally down for that. Totally down. Vance says, if AJ wins the Chamber, then we can get Edge versus AJ Styles, as Roman versus Edge will be one hell of a match, but with Roman winning, leaving many fans disappointed. See, I have a completely different take on Edge winning the Royal Rumble. I don't want to go too deep into it because I do want to talk about it in depth in a video, but for Edge to lose at WrestleMania, I think undermines everything that they're doing. If you ask me, I feel like Edge needs to win at WrestleMania. And there's no, long story short, there's no way in hell that Edge is beating Roman Reigns. There's no way. No way. And there's no way that Edge is going to beat Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. So I'm sure you could use your creativity to figure out who's left. Who's left? Tell us your Super Bowl thoughts. Tom Brady is the GOAT, of course. I think we all learned that last night. That was another reason why I was hoping that the Super Bowl was over so that I could just brag about the Bucks winning. Programmer says he ain't going for the NXT title. No, he's not. Nope. No way. While I think that Finn Balor versus Edge would be an incredible match, I don't think it's happening. No way. I saw first says, don't be surprised if heading to WrestleMania, The Miz is headlining one of the main event matches, WWE twist of storytelling. You know, I still have no clue what the end goal is with The Miz, or if they even have one. Everything would lead me to believe that they don't have one. I think that they're just going day by day. I don't think that they have a plan for The Miz. I don't think they have a plan for the Money in the Bank briefcase whatsoever. And I think that even, you know, with him cashing in the match between Drew and AJ, I think that the decision was last minute to put it back on him too. I don't think that that was planned. Because if it was planned, they would have actually acted out the way that they said that they did. And they didn't. They said that The Miz had no idea what was going on. He was in a trance. And that John Morrison just kind of came out and cashed it in. But that's not the case at all. The Miz looked over at him plenty of times. He was smiling. He wasn't confused. And it's kind of his fault that he waited 8 minutes before climbing the ladder. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have absolutely no clue what they're doing with The Miz. Vance says, if The Miz will become a type of heel just like Seth 2015, then I got no problem if he wins the title, as his current character is a lot boring now. I mean, that's the thing with them. They could always fix it tomorrow. They could always change The Miz tomorrow. That's all they need to do. And it seemed like they were going to do it that one time where The Miz had a match against someone and he was like really vicious. He was very aggressive. And I was like, cool, I think we're going to get this old Miz back. And then I'm pretty sure he lost the match and we didn't, obviously. So hopefully they book him a little bit better, but I'm not counting anything. There's no way. There's no way. Anthony says, thoughts on the halftime show at the Super Bowl? I did not watch the halftime show during the Super Bowl. I was meal prepping during that part of the show. Flash has second unpopular opinion of the night. Gronk deserved the MVP. I wouldn't have been mad at that, but I think, Brady was deserving of it as well, just for being who he is and just making everything happen. Andre says, how much time has the Miz to cash in? Well, whenever Money in the Bank is. Money in the Bank. Let's do 2020. So he has until probably around May 10th. So he's got about 3 months. 3 months to cash in. Leroy says Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan versus Big E at Elimination Chamber. Not mad at that. And that's the thing too, is that the WWE Championship one doesn't really make sense because there's not really that much going on. There's not a huge feud going on between any of these people, but you could make that argument on the SmackDown side. You really could. Roman Reigns. And I mean, you could even remove Roman Reigns and just make it a qualifier match, a number one contender match. Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, they both, Shinsuke won the gauntlet, got screwed. Cesaro has won a lot of matches. Daniel Bryan is just Daniel Bryan. Big E, up and comer. He's won all of his IC title matches, all of his defenses. He's a bigger guy. You can make arguments for all of this stuff. King G says, ding dong, hello. Tom Brady is garbage. I disagree. I disagree, sir. I disagree. Lily says, tired of WWE making talent useless like Asuka, Shinsuke, just wasting these people. Yeah, poor Asuka, man. Poor Asuka hasn't done anything in almost a year. She became the Raw Women's Champion after Money in the Bank last year on the show afterwards. Absolutely brutal. And now she's probably going to get fed to Lacey Evans. Soham says, but will no Edge will challenge Roman, so it won't be a number one contender. We don't know that. We don't know what's going on. Anything could still happen. And if you ask me, I don't think Edge is challenging Roman Reigns. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, let's go on here. Let us go on. So we saw Keith Lee back. We saw Keith Lee return. I was very happy about this. He's been off for like 2-3 weeks now. So hopefully obviously he is all good because he was there. So glad to see that he's all good and well. Not quite sure what's going on with Mia Yim. I did check her socials. She was active on her Mia Yim account and her Reckoning account. So I'm assuming she's doing fine and all of that. What page is a bot? Wrestle Talk? King G says, hello, how are you? AOW, sorry I'm late. I was watching Supernatural. No worries, my friend. No worries. Didn't that show end? I thought they had their series finale not a while ago. Mally says, don't know about UAW, but I do not like the current Elimination Chamber design. I miss the chamber from last decade. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind this one. Keith Lee versus Big E for the IC title, book it. That'd be a big match, but I wouldn't want to see that now because I think Big E needs to have a long reign with the IC title, and I don't want to see Keith Lee lose. So I would keep them. Obviously they're on different brands, so but yeah. Anyways, we saw this happen here. Matt Riddle and Keith Lee backstage. They're friends, and Matt Riddle insinuates that he still wants to go on and challenge Bobby Lashley once again for the United States Championship. And Keith Lee says, maybe it's time to step aside and let someone else come in because I know that I could defeat Bobby Lashley. So here was the first little hint tonight that we are going to be seeing a triple threat match in the future. What is up next here? Oh, this was one of my favorite parts. This was my favorite part of the show. Sheamus was pissed off at everyone's favorite authority, not so authority figure, Adam Pearce. This is the kind of stuff that I like to see. Sheamus, he believed that he was going to be facing Drew McIntyre one-on-one, probably at Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship. And he's pissed off because his odds are greatly reduced now because he has to be in an Elimination Chamber. That's not fair. So, of course, he'd be pissed. It was really good to see him express his feelings about this and actually be mad about something that you probably should be mad about. So I liked this. I always like seeing a little bit of logic. They don't do it very often for the most part, so very, very happy about that. Van says, looks like we will be getting another great pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm assuming that this pay-per-view will deliver in terms of matches. I would agree with that 100%. The Elimination Chamber with these people in it will be good. The triple threat match will be very good as well. I'm really looking forward to that. Even though it doesn't necessarily fit story-wise, but I'm still looking forward to it nonetheless. Lily says, Matt versus Keith Lee was the only reason I liked the show. Good fight, no disqualification, good match, all in all. I agree. I like that match a lot as well. And I'm still in the red over here. What is going on? What's going on, OBS? Let's see. What was next here? Oh, God. Oh, God. They did it to us again. The New Day took on T-Bar and Slapnuts in a tag team match. This is never going to go away, man. The Foot Clan, I swear, like, I don't understand what the goal is with them anymore. None of it just makes any sense. And having Mustafa Ali on commentary tonight was brutal. I did not want to sit here and listen to this man complain for 10 minutes about how no one leaves food on the table for anyone and yada, 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 yada. Like, we get it. No one likes Retribution. No one cares. Just disband the group and let's be on our separate ways. All of these people individually are very talented. Every single one of them. Donovan Dickhead is great. He had an amazing showing in NXT. Really, really, really good. Mace, so far, he's been pretty good. And, honestly, I would keep him as his current character moving forward. I think Mace is the only one that looks cool and badass. So I would keep him that way. Slapnuts, like, come on. Let's just bring back Shane Thorne. Like, who are we kidding? Let's just bring back Shane Thorne and just stop. Reckoning? No, bro. Just give us Mia Yim. So, anyways, the New Day ended up winning this match here. And afterwards, we saw Mustafa Ali yelling at everyone. Could this finally be the way? Could this be what happens? The thing that tears them apart is them continuing to lose to the New Day, and Mustafa Ali just kind of gets pissed at them every single time and talks down to them. That's what I think should happen. That's how I would book them to split. I would have Mustafa Ali be pissed off all the time. All they did was lose. He's given them all an opportunity. He's given them new names, a new identity, these masks, and everything. He's given them every single thing that they need to excel, and they just can't do it. They never, ever succeed, and he's tired of it. And then I would have the rest of the group, the rest of the Foot Clan here, I'd have them start ganging up and being pissed off. And then you would have yourself some sort of Mustafa Ali versus the Foot Clan type deal where they split away. And then afterwards, maybe they beat Mustafa Ali. And then afterwards, everyone goes their separate ways, does their their own things, and gets their names back. Because this is never going to work. It's never going to work. I'm sorry to tell you. The Foot Clan will never work. Ever. They were dead on arrival. They'll be dead 10 years from now if they continue on. It doesn't matter. It's a wrap. That's just the way that it is. That is just the way it is. I'm sorry. JVOJ, how's it going, my friend? How are you doing? Welcome. We're doing things a little bit different today. We're just doing the review right off the bat here. Obi James says everything about Retribution is long gone. They don't show that they want to destroy the company. Yeah, they really fell off with the whole message that they were telling. Like, they came in to destroy the company and they were cutting ropes and spray painting things. And then those people weren't even the people that ended up being in Retribution. Their appearances were completely different. They were just hooded. And now they have like these weird ass names and, and masks. Okay, this Retribution, my apologies, the Foot Clan hasn't done anything. They've knocked over boxes. They broke a window at the Performance Center, and they lock someone in the shitter. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. If Retribution continues on, they're just glorified jobbers, if you ask me. That is it. That's all they'll ever be. Nothing more. King G says Raw Super Bowl only because Trash Brady won. Yeah, I love the Super Bowl. I loved it. I loved it. Andre says, show us the way, teller of truth. Yes, I am the keeper of truth 100%, always and forever. Gar says, Mace and Mustafa would be good together. Donovan Dickhead would be amazing back on NXT or just killing it with Keith or Riddle every week. Mia and Shane are both super talented. They are. They are. Like I just said, every single person in the Foot Clan is very talented. I don't take that away from them. They just got dealt a bad hand. A very bad hand. The worst hand you could possibly ever get dealt. But, you know. Jaden says, Retribution is so ass it's getting old hating on them. It really is. It's so uninteresting. Like, this whole entire episode was just filler to me. Nothing of importance happened. So Ham says, Mercedes Martinez, thank God she backed out. She has a title opportunity at NXT TakeOver. Yeah, look at the wonders that did for her. And I saw that she did an interview and she was like, I was happy for the opportunity, but thanks, but no thanks type of deal. Flash says, everyone is talking about Edge, Roman, Foot Clan, and I'm just sitting here waiting for Samoa Joe to return. I wish, man. I wish. I can't wait. I hope that Samoa Joe actually does return at some point, because, I mean, he's really good on commentary, but man, Samoa Joe has so much more to accomplish in WWE, and I hope that he's actually able to do it. I really do. I love Samoa Joe a lot. Alex says, can you imagine the crowd reaction when Retribution comes out at Mania? Yeah, they wouldn't even make a peep. No boos, no cheers, just pure silence. Oh, that would be the worst. Oh, that would be the worst. Next up was this whole Lacey Evans, Rick and Charlotte Flair type thingamajig here. Once I saw this, I just left. I went and made myself a smoothie here and kind of chilled. This, whatever ended up happening here, turned into a match. And this match was brutal. Absolutely brutal, man. It was botch city up in here. There was a lot of mistakes, a lot of very weird sequences here that you could tell they goofed on. And then Charlotte Flair gets pissed off and just starts wailing on Lacey Evans while she's in the corner. And the ref ends up disqualifying her for whooping ass. You know, what you should be doing in a match. It's like, man, and this match was long too. Like, I don't think Cage Match typically has this information up yet, but I'll see if they do. Yeah, no, they don't have it up. I'm not sure how long this match was, but it was long. The promo led into a commercial, and then I think they had at least 2 commercial breaks during the match. So I was like, really? Like, come on, man. Obi James says, was I the only one waiting for Gronk to win the 24/7 title at the Super Bowl? Yeah, I don't think they would do something like that at the Super Bowl. I don't think so. Obi James says, Lacey and Charlotte have zero chemistry. Yeah, man, I would 100% agree with that. This whole thing has never clicked since the beginning. I don't think people want to see Ric Flair on their screen. And I certainly don't think that they want to see Lacey Evans and Ric Flair in some sort of weird relationship. That's a hard pass from me. Hard pass. Basili says, speaking of Black, whatever happened to him? He's off TV. He's off TV. He's not a part of creative or whatsoever at this point. I don't even think he's there anymore. I think he's just at home. That's how bad it is. I don't think he even has to show up to the events anymore. Van says, Lacey shouldn't win the Raw Women's Championship. Please no. I'm actually glad that you said that, because I forgot to mention that during this little promo thing before the match, Lacey said that Ric Flair talked to a WWE official, or he had heard from a WWE official, that if Lacey Evans beat Charlotte Flair in a match, then she would be the #1 contender for Asuka's Raw Women's Championship. So it was like, okay, here we go. This is what led Charlotte to be like, oh yeah, well, let's fight right now. Let's go. So because of this disqualification, technically Lacey Evans won. There you go. Unfortunately, that match got made later on shortly. And we'll talk about how that might go once we get to that. Next up was Edge. WWE said that Edge will be giving an update on his choice for WrestleMania. And you guessed it, there was no update. There was essentially no update. Edge just continued to say that he's waiting, especially now that the Elimination Chamber has entered the picture, because he's not even sure if Drew McIntyre will walk out as WWE champion. So he's not making his decision yet. He's waiting. Mally Man says, I'm going to call it a night. It was fun being a part of the post show. Huge fan of yours, and sorry I can't stick around, but I'll watch the video first thing in the morning. No worries. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Vance says, don't worry, Aleister Black won't sign a new contract, and AEW would want him. Hopefully. I hope that he just goes wherever Zelina goes, and they get paired together. I think that'd be great. Flash says, we don't want to, but damn, we will see Lacey versus Charlotte at Mania. Yep, probably, man. I saw first says, respect Brady. You can hate on him all you want, but 7 rings will not be repeated. The GOAT, man. The GOAT. Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Charlotte got disqualified because she pushed the ref. Oh, did she? Is that why? I thought she was just wailing on Lacey. Either way, it's dumb. I don't like it. I don't like booking stuff like this whatsoever. Especially like, you know, if having a match be this long and having it end in a disqualification is just bad. I don't like it. Obi James says, Edge will keep updating us until the go home show of WrestleMania. Yeah, and probably on every single show every week. Which I'm happy to see him on the shows, but I wish that they would kind of frame it differently. You can't really say that someone's going to have an update on something and there's no update. Him saying that he's going to wait because of the Elimination Chamber isn't something that anyone needed to hear. We all knew that Elimination Chamber was happening, so I can only assume that he did as well. So, Flash says, if AEW can give me Aleister Black versus Pac, I'm happy. That'd be crazy. Andre says, you really think Asuka is going to lose? I would imagine so. Anyways, while Edge was giving his promo here, The Miz, John Morrison, and Angel Garza, of all people, came out to cut a promo on Edge here. And man, Edge was so good. Edge was so good in this promo here. He said that The Miz is too worried about being awesome, and he did that like 20 years ago. And it was good. Put him in his place. The Miz and John Morrison, man, they're nothing but a bunch of geeks. I'm sorry to say it. They're just a bunch of geeks walking around talking a lot of trash, and they can't walk the walk. They don't even tease any Money in the Bank cash-ins anymore. Nothing is going on. He just carries it around and doesn't do anything. Like, this would be way more exciting if he was lurking or if he was coming out during certain spots. Like, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens beat the absolute hell in each other, or out of each other, at the Royal Rumble. Miz was nowhere to be seen. You don't think he would have wanted to show up after Roman Reigns ran over Kevin Owens with a golf cart? You don't think he didn't want to show up when Kevin Owens did the swanton on top of Roman Reigns off of the forklift? Bro, I would be right there. What about when Roman Reigns got handcuffed to the pillar from Kevin Owens? Why not? Cash it in. Or, better yet, come out with a weapon, beat them up, put Owens down, cash in, use your finisher, beat Owens clean. You got Roman Reigns tied to a post. He can't do a damn thing about it. But they don't tease anything. Nothing. Zilch, nada. Nothing. Just a lot of talk and absolutely zero backing up of it. So, that makes this all even worse. because it doesn't make sense. It's not going anywhere, and there's no value to it. The Money in the Bank briefcase has been dragged through the mud this entire year. Sorry to say. Dragged through the mud. It means absolutely nothing to me at this point. Nothing. Lily says, when is The Fiend coming back so him and Alexa can set Randy on fire in the Funhouse? I'm not sure. Maybe after Elimination Chamber? But who knows what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber, because there's quite a few people who think that Randy Orton could win the WWE Championship from Drew McIntyre. And then the match at WrestleMania would be Edge versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. So, I don't know. I don't know here. Anyways, this led to the match that got made earlier. That was Damian Priest with Bad Bunny taking on Angel Garza with The Miz and John Morrison. This match was pretty good, actually. I thought this one was pretty good. Dude, Philip, come on, bro. Like, I just timed you out. We get it. We get it, man. The whole thing, like, all right. So the whole point of these post shows is to be like, to talk to chat and to hang out and to kind of see what everyone says and stuff like that. So you can't clutter up the chat. You can't be giving people a bad experience, because if you do, I'll just have to keep timing you out or end up blocking you, unfortunately. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that here. I want this to be a more positive place. So you got to chill, bro. You got to chill. Anyways, back to this match here. Damian Priest with Bad Bunny taking on Angel Garza with The Miz and John Morrison. This match wasn't bad by any means. Damian Priest ended up looking strong in the end, which is great. That's what you look for. The only thing that I didn't like was all of the BS going on. A lot of overbooked stuff, distractions going on left and right. What eventually ended up happening was The Miz and Morrison got ejected from ringside. So it's just, it's not the kind of stuff that I'm looking for, especially when you have these people who do it just nonstop. Like, every single thing that they do is just weird, boring distraction cheating. And I don't think it would be as bad if the rest of the show wasn't booked exactly the same. I don't know. It's just not for me though, but still very happy that Damian Priest got a clean win over Angel Garza. I have no problem with Priest beating Angel Garza. Sure, Angel Garza doesn't have like any momentum whatsoever. He's not even really on the shows anymore, but that's what everything is all about for creating new people, right? It's having them face others and beating them and getting wins. So I have no problem with this. I think Damian Priest has a good road ahead of him. I guess that's what I'll say. He has a good road ahead of him. I know a lot of people don't like Bad Bunny in WWE. I get it, but I don't mind. He's not challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. He's just there to put eyes on the product. All right? Just there to put eyes on the product. And he's training. So if you have a problem with it, it's going to be a bad ride for you, because I think what is going to happen is we're probably going to see Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus The Miz and John Morrison at WrestleMania. That's probably what's going to happen. So we got to sit through this for a couple more weeks. Anthony says, not going to lie, what I would do with Damian, I would put him in a random match for the wins. Yeah, I mean, that's how I think that all of these shows should be structured. I say that all the time. Like, I think that you build your show around exhibition matches, wins and losses. It's just like anything else. It's just like football or basketball, right? You make your way through the roster or the other teams in terms of the other sports. You win some, you lose some, you get ranked depending on how well you did. And then in the midst of that, you could create storylines while all this stuff is going on. So then you could have exhibition matches and feuds, and it's a good day. Sure, you could have a match that makes absolutely no sense, but have it be 10 minutes and have it be good. There's no reason why you have to start a feud only because someone gets a distraction roll-up finish. That's not the way that things need to be done. There's no story involved in that. That is not a story at all. It's not a story. So I really wish that they would get off of that mentality and start doing things a little bit different. I think that they'd be way more successful if they did it that way. And you don't have to live and die by the win and loss record, but it's just a good way to kind of position people better, you know, because we're currently in a big mush predicament where no one feels better than other people, I guess, if you want to say. Like, we don't really have an established mid-card or world title scene. And to be honest, the world title scene on the Raw side is weak as hell. Extremely weak. Most of those people don't even belong in that division whatsoever. So I think with all of that stuff, you'd be able to establish these boundaries better, and you'd be able to rank people better in their, like, where they're at card wise, and, you know, help propel people over. Like, hey, you know what, the Money in the Bank briefcase match is for those people who are in the mid card, but they're teetering on being in that world championship scene, right? So, like, these guys just need that one match. They need that big break. So let's put them all in the Money in the Bank match and see which one wins. You could also do tournament matches, right? With your top 6 people, top 8 people in your mid card. Winner of that earns themselves a shot at the world championship. Then those would still be considered somewhat of exhibition matches. Those would still be considered, you could throw storylines in those as well. I think the shows would literally just write themselves. You wouldn't even have to do anything, which is what they do right now, but it doesn't result in anything good. At least you would have structure for a show, and you would have different things. Like, it's all just the same mush. That's all it is. Van says, hey, where's Ricochet? I believe Ricochet is stuck on main event now again. I think so. Andre says, Damian is 2-0. Yes, he is, sir. Yes, he is 2-0. 2 wins, 0 losses. Leroy says, I know I'm going to get hate for this, but what if the women's division had mid-card championships? I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. But in order to do that, they would need to establish themselves as being able to book the championships that they currently have, because they can't do that. They can't do that. Even the Raw Women's Championship is just nothing. Like, it's so meaningless right now. It has absolutely no value. Asuka has 0 value right now going on. All of her momentum has been completely crushed. And we'll talk about that in another second of why that happened and how nothing came from that either. After this is where WWE announced that Asuka will be defending her Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans at the upcoming Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So here's this is how I see this going. And I hope that I'm wrong, because Asuka deserves better, but this is what I think is going to happen. Especially since, was it last week on Raw? Lacey Evans and Ric Flair distracted Asuka, and they lost the what was it, a triple threat women's tag team #1 contender match, or whatever it was. Or was it just it might have been a tag team match. I can't, for the championships. I can't remember. But anyways, Lacey Evans and Ric Flair cost Asuka that match. So I think they're going to run it back and do the same thing here. I think Ric Flair is going to screw Asuka, and I think that Lacey Evans is going to get the win over Asuka at the Elimination Chamber. And I think that WrestleMania is Raw Women's Champion Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair. I think that's the WrestleMania match. Then you have Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. And like I said earlier, that is the other video that I have planned for this, is where does Bianca Belair go for WrestleMania? So I'll break down my listings on what I think the proper order should be, and why I think that'll be an interesting video, because there's a lot of interesting things to say about that. Gertej says that was the worst Monday Night Raw ever. I mean, it wasn't good, but I don't think it was the worst by any means. There was a lot worse ones last year during the start of the pandemic. But yeah, it wasn't very good. There was some good in-ring performing tonight, though. But other than that, yeah, it was a snooze fest is what I called it tonight, I believe. Warrior says they don't even know how to book tag titles for the women. I doubt a mid-card title would be any better. Yeah, if anything, I think WWE should unify titles at this point. I don't think that they really have anything going for most of their championships. It's crazy. I could see it being Charlotte versus Asuka versus Lacey. That's possible. That's possible. Basili says, I was there for that before WWE signed both of them, and they sold each other's moves so well. They kept the match interesting like an old school WWE match. Screwing over Asuka twice. Yeah, man, I can see it. Anything for the golden child, man. Anything for the golden child. Basili says, put Ricochet anywhere else and he'll blossom. I hope that Ricochet doesn't re-sign with them whenever his contract's over. He deserves so much better. Ricochet is extremely talented. Like, look at his NXT run and then look at where he's at now. Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Andre says, and Asuka isn't going to have a match at WrestleMania. I don't want to believe in that. Maybe it'll be a triple threat. I don't know. But I definitely think that that's the route that they're going to go, if you ask me. Flash says, I have to drop it here. Tomorrow the work is going to kick my ass, so I need to get rest. See you next Glorious Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in, Flash, man. I always appreciate it, as always. Thank you. Vance says, I still don't understand why the hell Cesaro re-signed with the company. He's probably... maybe he was promised something. He was supposed to be the one to get that Shinsuke Nakamura push in that gauntlet match, but he didn't. His contract was supposed to expire at WrestleMania, so they didn't do it. So maybe they promised him something there. Maybe he just wants the money. Maybe he's kind of happy where he is. I find it kind of hard to believe that he is happy where he is. I feel like I would have a very hard time being in that sort of position when everyone in the world is literally telling me that I'm capable of so much more, that I'm capable of being a multiple time world champion at this point. So I mean, I don't know, maybe someone will have some more details later on. I don't know. Can't answer that though. Lily says they did Shinsuke so dirty, and I hope it pays back, or I hope it pays off. Philip, yeah, you gotta have another timeout, dude. The same messages over and over and over. I appreciate you tuning in, I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you chatting, but we all have to stay on the same page here. We can't talk about, there's nothing to talk about the Nexus. We're focusing on Monday Night Raw here, but if you hang around and you relax for a little bit, once we're done with the review of Raw, I will open it up and we'll talk about whatever the hell anyone wants. And if you guys want to hop in the Discord chat and our voice chat and chat, that's totally fine too. We'll do whatever. But for now, you just got to chill during the review. Vance says, if Cesaro doesn't get a world title in his whole career, then that would be a disappointment. It would, man. It really would. I'd be very upset with that. James says, hello, AW. I had a fantastic 15th birthday celebration this past Saturday. It was really fun. Glad to hear that, man. Happy late birthday to you as well. Glad to hear that everything went well. And being 15, man, you can get your permit now. Start learning how to drive. That's the best, man. When you got some wheels and you can go wherever the hell you want, whenever you want, man, life changes so much. So much. All right, what is next here? Next up, we had Matt Riddle taking on Keith Lee. There were no stakes in this match to anyone's knowledge here, but earlier on, Matt Riddle said that he wanted to keep challenging Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship, and Keith Lee said that he wanted in as well. So I feel like we kind of all knew that something was going on, and this Keith Lee ended up getting the win over Matt Riddle, and I thought this match was great. Lots of strong boy stuff going on right here. Clean finish. You cannot argue with that. What did I say here? Good match between these two, and good to see Lee get a clean win. No distractions, no roll-ups, and certainly no disqualifications needed here. This is how you book your show. Give us 4 or 5 of these a night. 6 of them a night. Give us some storytelling in between. some little soap opera-y stuff. It's all good, man. It's all good, but base your show around stuff like this. This is what everyone wants to see, and we've proved that. We've seen that be proven. The episode of Monday Night Raw where Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre had the last 45 minutes of the show, their viewership was up a lot in the third hour. You know what did not help the third hour of Raw? Raw Underground. Never helped them. The Foot Clan was created to help boost the third hour of Raw. Didn't help. Not once. You know what did? Good old-fashioned wrestling. Like, come on. I don't get it. Warrior says, a match with an actual clean finish on Raw. I thought it was almost impossible. I know, it's crazy, right? Like, this should be the normal. This should be the normal. I don't understand why it's not. Shelva says the triple threat match is going to be incredible. I hope so. I hope so. I saw it first, says, I'm sorry, but booking Keith Lee versus Riddle makes Lee weak. Lee should be booked with bigger guys so they can make Lee look like a monster. I mean, I think they did a good job at that tonight. Lee dominated Riddle for a lot of this match. And Riddle couldn't even take him down for the longest time in the match either. So I think they did a good job of balancing him being a big guy and being very strong and hard to take down. I think they did it perfectly fine here with Keith Lee. And I think that Keith Lee is another person that has a strong future in WWE. And something that I'm very interested in knowing is if or what Keith Lee's involvement was in the Royal Rumble. I wonder how much of this was actually booked. Was Keith Lee planned to win the Royal Rumble? A lot of people, like earlier on, the rumor was that it was going to be Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar versus Keith Lee for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So, kind of interesting. Leroy says, when are we going to see Woods versus Reckoning? Probably never. AJP says, I truly believe they'll have Keith Lee win the U.S. title by pinning Matt Riddle, and then they'll book Bobby as a beast so he can face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. I've been saying that for quite a while now, is that Bobby Lashley has transcended the U.S. title scene now. He needs to go for the WWE Championship. He needs to be in the main event. He needs to be in the world title scene. The Hurt Business has done wonders for Bobby Lashley. Before then, not so much. But now, it's good, man. It's good. Raw Underground is a myth. I wish. Bro says, I gotta go. I got school tomorrow, but I do enjoy coming. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for tuning in. Our Father Rollins was considered to win as well. That would have been interesting. That would have been very interesting. Vange says, but dude, I want Riddle versus Gold. I think we all do. That would be a really good one. I saw it first as, according to the rumors, Vince had no plans for Keith Lee to win the Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised, but man, that would have been a huge moment. Huge moment. All right, what's next here? All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Almost there. Next up was why this even happened. Lana versus Nia Jax in a tables match. This should have happened 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was. And now they're just running it back. Like, why? Why have we returned to where we were 3 months ago? Lana and Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are feuding. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton are feuding once again. What's going on? Like, really? Do we need to come back to this point? I don't get it. Lana ends up getting the win here. She ends up shoving Nia Jax through a table at ringside. But before then, Nia Jax went to do a leg drop on Lana on the apron. She fell on her ass and she screamed, "My hole. My hole. It hurts." I think this was trending on Twitter. This was talked about a lot. Why she said "my hole," I have no idea, because In theory, that's not what would be hurting from that. The cheeks would be hurting, not the hole. So I don't know. I don't know. I hope that this doesn't continue, but I think obviously it is. God, are Naomi and Lana going to be the next women's tag team champions? Is that what's going to happen here? It's probably what's going to happen, huh? It's probably what's going to happen. Next up, we got an impromptu match between Naomi and Shayna Baszler. I had to go take out the trash, literally, because tomorrow's trash day. So I didn't watch any of this. I have no idea what happened. All I know is that Naomi got the win. And that means that Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax both took L's tonight. Brutal. Next up, WWE announced the triple threat match that's going down at the Elimination Chamber. The United States Championship will be defended here. Bobby Lashley will be taking on Matt Riddle and Keith Lee. This match is going to slap. 100%. I hope that they don't do that. I hope that they don't have some sort of shitty finish to this match, because I'm really going to be looking forward to this. Really going to be looking forward to this match. I think this will be a fun one for sure. Who wins, though? Who wins? Before we carry on, who would you like to see walk out of this triple threat match as the United States champion? Do you want Bobby Lashley to retain? Should Matt Riddle win, or should Keith Lee win? Personally, I think that Keith Lee should win. Keith Lee walking out as the United States champion would be perfect. He could carry on to do whatever else he wanted to, and then Bobby Lashley could move on up to the World Championship scene. That's how I would do it. Warriors as champions are booked so badly. Yeah, I agree. They're always losing. It's so bad. It's so bad. And people wonder why no one takes these things seriously. We can't. We can't. Van says, I think she was going to say asshole, but she suddenly remembered that WWE is PG-13 and that's what she got. Very possible. Very possible. Well, it'll be a huge moment. I'm sure that will be memed for quite a while now. You want Matt, but you know they're going to give it to Keith. I wouldn't be mad at Matt Riddle as the United States champion. Although I think that it's a little late to pull the trigger on that, because of how badly Riddle got destroyed by Lashley for the most part. And then having Riddle beat Lashley or Lee in that match, I don't know. I don't see Bobby Lashley taking the L whatsoever. If there's a new champion, I think it's going to be Keith Lee, and I think he'll probably pin Matt Riddle. That would be my guess. James says, my birthday cake tasted way better than Penelope's and Kip's wedding cake that apparently got smushed. It did, man. You can't have a successful wedding in the wrestling business, but glad it was good. Glad it was good. Everyone, I saw first says everyone wants Keith Lee to win, but I believe it'll be given to Riddle. I just feel like that'd be so ass backwards. But I mean, that's very WWE like to have Matt Riddle get destroyed and then just win it. Leroy says if Keith Lee wins, he should bring back the US Open Challenge. I'd be down for that. I'd be way down for that. Andre says Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at Mania. I wish, man. I wish. That would be so good. I would love to see that. No problems with that whatsoever. Next up, we had our main event here. There was some unfinished business going on. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. The feud that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. This seemed like a pretty good match for the most part until, you guessed it, disqualification. Sheamus ended up running in towards the end. He tried to hit Drew McIntyre with a brogue kick, but he moved out of the way and connected with Randy Orton. While Drew McIntyre was moving out of the way, he ran the ropes, hit Sheamus with a Claymore, and was standing tall at the end of the show. Why they did this, I have absolutely no clue. Sheamus even came out during the middle of the match and teased like he was going to be running in, but didn't, just to kind of distract McIntyre a little bit more. But I really don't get it. I don't see what this accomplished for anything. You ran a match back that didn't need to happen. Technically, there's still unfinished business between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. They didn't solve anything. Nothing was solved tonight in the main event. I don't get it. So now, who knows? Maybe we're going to see Randy Orton versus Sheamus next week. They both are involved in the Elimination Chamber, but I don't know. I hated this main event. And honestly, the whole time I was waiting for Alexa Bliss to show up or The Fiend to show up. That's what I thought would happen. So they didn't. And how nice of Alexa Bliss and The Fiend to just kind of set Randy Orton aside and not care that he killed The Fiend. And that he tried to set Alexa Bliss on fire. Like, I don't know. I don't quite understand where they're going with all of this. It's all just a jumble. It's all like, it's like they changed course soon. So that's why I'm not quite sure where The Fiend fits into WrestleMania now. When is he going to return? I feel like they should have already started teasing The Fiend returning at this point. And I don't quite understand all of the tension between Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. We know they're not going to have an intergender match between them. So I don't know. Hopefully The Fiend comes back soon, though. Hopefully maybe the Raw after Elimination Chamber, I guess, would be a good one. Obi James says Corbin's feuds are the ones that never end. Oh, preach, man. Those are the worst. TR says Bliss versus Orton, Hell in a Cell at Mania. That would be crazy. It would be hilarious to see Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell match, like legit just beating the hell out of each other. And he says, will we see Matt Riddle versus Brock Lesnar? I don't think so. I would love to, though. JBO says maybe Sheamus could win the Chamber. Him and Drew have a rematch at Mania, and Drew will get his WrestleMania moment in front of fans. Yeah, I saw someone mention that as well. That wouldn't be the worst. The only thing that would bother me about Drew losing it before Mania and regaining it back is that they kind of did that with Randy. Randy beat Drew McIntyre for the championship and held it for like a couple weeks or something like that, and then lost it back to McIntyre. That's my only problem with that. Personally, for me, I would probably have Drew McIntyre retain in the Elimination Chamber, and then I would have Drew McIntyre defeat Sheamus at, what is it, Fastlane, the next one? And then, spoiler alert, some people are probably not going to like this one, I would have Drew McIntyre lose the WWE Championship to Edge at WrestleMania. More in my video. Warrior says, would rather have Drew walk into Mania in front of a crowd as champion. He'll get a huge pop. I agree. Leroy says, Alexa Bliss is being stalked by some psycho fans, so that's why she wasn't on Raw. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning, but I was more so talking about just The Fiend in general. They could turn the lights off. They could just laugh. They could do some weird video segments like they did with Mercy the Buzzard and the Box before all that stuff. So I would have thought that we would be getting into that around this time. Lily says, Edge can't lose. His career would be over. I don't think his career would be over, but I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to save it for the video. James says Sheamus was only a face for 3 months. What a waste of a face run. And Sheamus lost every single thing that he did too since his return. Andre says Miz has to cash in at the Elimination Chamber. Time is running out. Yep. Bob says, whatever happened to Wobbly the Walrus? I'm not sure. Maybe they got pissed off about it. I saw first says WWE will have The Fiend out until WrestleMania since he's introducing a new look. I hope they have like a burned face. That'd be nice. Jonathan says, where's Rhea Ripley heading? I have no clue. Hopefully Raw, because they really need her, but I'm not sure. Anthony says, not gonna lie, I really missed the Firefly Funhouse. I think it's been a nice break because we've seen the same thing over and over and over since the Fiend debuted. But I'm ready to bring the Fiend back. I'm ready to see Bray Wyatt again. And I'm ready for them to just kind of do a reset. That's what I would like all of this to be, is just kind of a reset. I think that's where they need to go. All right, so that is going to wrap up the Raw review here. Thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it. We're at an hour and 25 minutes, so the next 35 minutes, we'll go 2 hours tonight for the show. The rest of the show will be dedicated to whatever, just chatting. Also, if some of you want to join in on the Discord, you want to get in the voice chat, if you want to talk about something, if you want to talk about something that happened tonight, some predictions for a show, you want to ask me questions, I don't care. You're welcome to do whatever the hell you want in voice chat. Let me get the Discord link up here. Bob says, other wrestling YouTubers you watch? I watch Pulse and I watch Chris Danker play games, but I don't really watch any, like, I don't watch any sort of wrestling podcast or anything. James says, is the Ask Me Anything on YouTube as well? So we didn't end up doing it, so we're going to kind of do that right now. Obi James says, I'm going to head out. Have a good night. Thanks, man, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So just because I'm uncertain on when I will be able to do the 1,000 subscriber special, we're going to show some love to everyone tonight as well. Vange says, are you a fan of Dr. Disrespect? I'm kind of glad that you brought that up. I'm very glad that you brought that up. I don't watch Dr. Disrespect, but I'm a huge fan of the things that he's accomplished as a YouTuber. Big fan. I want to pull some inspiration from some of the things that he does. You'll notice that there's a red dot on the title for tonight's show. I noticed that that's something that he does for all of his live streams. So I kind of stole that from him. Sorry, Dr. Disrespect. But I'm a huge fan of the way that he has everything set up with the green screens and stuff like that. And it's something that I want to do in the future. Maybe not as elaborate, but I'm very interested in putting on a legit show. Instead of just sitting here and talking, I love the aspect of all the things like that. And one of the new shows that I'm going to try to introduce here shortly is a news show that will take some sort of inspiration from stuff that Dr. Disrespect does, in terms of it being like flashy and very like over edited and animated. I guess I can show those off. Before we get into the Q&A, before we get into any of that, let me show you what I'm working on here. Okay, so let me put this in studio mode here. Do I think that The Fiend is too big for WWE to handle? No, not necessarily. No. I just think that they could be smarter with the way that they handle his booking. That's all. Van says, will you play Resident Evil 8 on your gaming channel? I've never played a Resident Evil game before, so I'm not sure. It's one of the things that I'm working on getting done, is getting back into the gaming and stuff like that, because I said that there's a lot of games that I want to play and all of that. So we'll see for sure. Wrestling Inc. has a good podcast, but sometimes their opinions can make you cringe. That's why I like working alone. That's why I work working alone. Although I think that there is, at some point, one of the things that I wanted to do with this show was to actually have someone that's the complete opposite of me be on the show as well, as like a co-host. So we'd both have the show, and my thing would just be like, this show sucked, and theirs would be like, I thought the show was good. And then we kind of go back and forth. But I ended up kind of deciding on going with the community driven route instead. Maybe that's something that will happen down the line in form of like a video review or something like that, perhaps. I'm not sure, but it's something that I thought of for sure. Okay, so my gaming channel, one sec. I will get you the link. So there is some stuff up there as well. I played quite a few games and all that. So there is a history. There's a log of some good stuff. There it is. This is Le Gaming channel right there. Okay, so you have to forgive me for this first one that I'm about to show you because I'm not very happy with it. This isn't necessarily the type of thumbnail that I think will look very good, but here is the first one. So one of the first shows that I'm working on is called By the Numbers, and this will air multiple times. This will be after every single show, so the next day in a video form. So By the Numbers would be Monday Night Raw By the Numbers, WWE NXT By the Numbers, AEW Dynamite By the Numbers, Friday Night SmackDown By the Numbers. This show would go over the ratings for the show, how they compared to last week's, where they're headed, and then also in this show we'll compare match times for this week and the previous week as well to kind of see how things are going and discuss where they're at. It was one of the things that I did on Instagram for a while, but I only did it a couple times. So I think I'm going to do it in video form, but there will still be ratings posted on Instagram, but I'll just do them here as well. So it'll be more elaborate and there'll be a lot more stuff to talk about. This one is still in the works though. I'm not very happy with how this one turned out. James says, will you ever review Impact again? Yeah, probably. We'll do some pay-per-view ones as well. And it's something that I'm trying to work my way in, but I'm trying to not kill myself with all of the stuff going on. Okay, the other one. This is my Dr. Disrespect one. I mean, not from him, but next up. Transition? Or did it already work? AOW news is coming. It is coming. This one will not have a date. I think this one will happen when things happen. So when there's a couple things to talk about, I'll talk about them. I literally have this thing completely set up to be a legit news station. Like, it's incredible. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I'm still working on getting the animations perfectly smooth and colored and everything, but it will legit look and feel like an actual news station. And it's not meant to be taken seriously. Kind of stealing the idea from PewDiePie doing the whole Pew News thing. So it'll kind of be fun oriented, but I wanted it to look super cool. I wanted it to look really cool. So that is AOW news. That is coming up as well. And then my favorite one. Oh man, people are going to be so mad about this one. People are going to be so mad about this one, but I'm very excited. Oops. Oh no. What'd I do? So for a while now, I've been asking if someone does a good, the bad, and the ugly. I've always wanted to do a good, bad, and the ugly show, but there's a couple people that do them. So if I can't have the good, the bad, and the ugly, then everything is trash. All right. Everything is trash. This is going to be my third show here. And you guessed it. This is going to be a very, very critique driven show. And I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I kind of want to have another one that is the complete opposite so that I'm not so much of a Debbie Downer. But I think Everything is Trash is a hilarious name, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think that one will be a lot of fun. So that wraps up that. Those are the shows that I'm working on. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. What if you do a PewDiePie Cocomelon intro? No, I have the intro worked out for the new stuff. Not the other ones, but the new stuff, I got it all worked out. No Hack says, make sure you don't overwork yourself because I don't want you to burn out. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do, is to make sure that I don't do too much, because, you know, I don't want to be locked down to doing a post show every night for Impact and New Japan and stuff that I don't necessarily watch. I saw it first, says, good night, my friend. Thanks for a great show. Early meeting at work tomorrow. Good night. No worries, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. All right, so floor is open. Floor is open. Safa, how you doing, my friend? We are just chilling. We are doing whatever we want now. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask away. If you want to hop in the Discord, let me know, and that is open as well. So whatever you want. We got 25 minutes. 25 minutes to do whatever. Where will you get the intro song from? I will be doing the intro song from YouTube's free music collection. You know? No Hack says, I just got the Roku channel, so I'll probably just tell you how it goes on the SmackDown review. Okay. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. James says, Kalisto should be Father Rollins' jobber opponent. Yeah, I wonder what Seth Rollins is going to do when he comes back. TR says, can I have some money? Thank you for the question, and that is going to be a big no. Big no. Alex says Styles versus Edge is perfect. I would love to see that, but it doesn't look like we're probably going to at WrestleMania, at least. Looks like, all right, Anthony is in here. Oh, he just dipped out. Safa says Riddle should win the US Championship at the Elimination Chamber. That'd be interesting. All right, let's see. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Okay, so I'm unmuted. I'm gonna pull in Anthony. Hello, can you hear me, my friend? Are you there? Tierra says Rollins versus Bryan at Mania. I could definitely see that happening. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. What do you got for me?
Look, when you said earlier about the IC title being defended at Elimination Chamber, I thought, what if it's Big E, Sami Zayn, Apollo Crews, Shinsuke Nakamura, and for the hell of it, add Otis.
Sure. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I mean, Otis hasn't really earned himself a spot, but for the Intercontinental Championship, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think so. It'd be interesting. I guess they'll probably throw everything out at us on SmackDown like they did for Raw, because we only have one more episode. Well, we have 2 episodes of SmackDown, but only one more episode of Raw before Elimination Chamber, so they don't really have much time to build up anything.
Yeah. Also, no. I just thought about it. What if AJ wins the WWE Championship and then we could see that dream match Edge versus AJ Styles?
That's true. That would be a crazy WrestleMania. That would be a crazy WrestleMania main event. Oh, Vance, so we're doing just a Q&A, or we're just doing whatever we want. So if anyone wants to chat, you're free to hop in the Discord and just kind of chat away for a little bit. We got 20 minutes or so left. But yeah, Edge versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I'd be down for that.
I literally thought they were gonna put Carlito in that match and just exchange the Miz there.
Yeah, I was surprised to not see Carlito tonight. Really surprised with how popular he is. You think that they would have wanted to have him on the show. Maybe they're working out a deal or something like that. But he's ungodly popular, so blows me away.
It's ridiculous.
Never in a million years would I have guessed that Carlito was so popular. Absolutely
Hell,
crazy.
We should have replaced him for the Miz.
Oh, in the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
That would have been very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, he doesn't really deserve a WWE Championship match, but neither do most of the people in that match anyways. So, not the end of the world there, I guess. But I don't know. He was supposed to try out for a producer position. So, I haven't heard any updates on how that went, or if it actually happened, or if there's talks between them or not. I did hear that when MVP, because last year the same thing happened with MVP essentially, and I believe it was Paul Heyman that kind of fought for him or suggested that he stay on full time, and Vince was like immediately like, yes, absolutely. So maybe that's the case for Carlito as well.
I think so.
And I mean,
So
every post show we've had since Legends Night, everyone's talked about Carlito. So
like just I didn't know who Carlito was back then. So like if you can't beat him, join him. So like I started searching up who Carlito is. I'm like, man, this guy is actually very popular.
yeah, yes, very.
Oh, like, also, I also had to talk about the U.S. title. I feel like it's gonna be a good match with Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Bobby Lashley because like when it's kind of like bringing back me vibes when Samoa Joe came to the main roster. He was
Mm-hmm.
going for like the main title, the Universal Champion, the World Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. Also, and then Samoa Joe ended up going for the U.S. title.
Yeah,
So that might I feel like Keith Lee might have a win or Matt Riddle as
I could definitely see Keith Lee winning, 100%. And I wouldn't be mad at it either, not at all. And I think they've created their out as well by having Riddle in the match. They can just have Lee pin Riddle, walk away as the champion, and then just kind of have Bobby Lashley move on. That's how I would do it. He doesn't need to feud with Lee over it or try to get it back. I would just have him move on. That's all. That is all from that one. All right, man. Thank you for your questions, though. I'm going to pull in KT here so we can get through some other people. And then maybe we can get you back in here in a little bit.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right,
for
thanks,
having
man.
me here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's pull in KT here. KT, are you there, my friend? Hello. No, not you.
I'm here.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on?
Not much, man. What do you got for me?
So I just wanted to get your opinion
Mhm.
On NXT. So as we all know that NXT is pretty much going head to head with AEW right now.
Mhm.
But it seems like NXT has lost some of its star power a little bit because you have people going up to the main roster. So I wanted to get your opinion on what can NXT do to bring that 2016 or like 2017 vibe back to NXT, because it feels like it's losing or lacking something.
For me, I think most of it just lies in when they're on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and it's long overdue. It's long overdue for NXT to leave Wednesday. They need to go to Thursday. Mm-hmm. And I think even that alone will help so much. There's so many times where we've seen NXT counter program anything that AEW is doing. They've done a lot of weird main roster stuff. Like the whole Leon Ruff thing was not for me. The Robert Stone stuff was kind of weird for NXT as well, like getting ran over by a tank and being drunk and all that. And it seems like the last couple of events they've really just rushed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I would have them literally just forget that AEW even exists, and I would just have them on Thursday doing their own thing like they were before. I think that is the critical step in bringing back what NXT once was. And then you also get more viewership. Like the people that are watching are the actual people who don't have the ability to watch both shows at the same time can actually just tune into your show and relax.
Right. Because I'm either sometimes I have Wednesdays off and sometimes I don't. So usually if I'm on like my break or like an hour, like I have to flip between AEW and NXT, and it's just like I can't.
Yeah,
I have to choose.
And trying to read all about all the shows and what's happening between both of them, it's a lot, and it sucks too because for me, like AEW and NXT are my one. Like those are. Maybe I would say that AEW is probably my favorite, with NXT being a very, very close second, if not tied for first. So it's difficult as well if you were to say like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna watch AEW Dynamite tonight. I'm just gonna chill and relax. And then something huge happens on NXT, and now you're pissed off because you didn't watch it, and now you got to go back and find everything. I literally think it's just best for business to move nights and just worry about themselves, especially with what AEW is cooking up with Impact and New Japan and Stardom and AAA as well at this, and NWA. Like, they have so much cooking with so many other people that it's like it's time to just chill.
All right. Now, let me get your opinion on this. I seen on Instagram that I think it was Finn Balor and Adam Cole posted something about the Bullet Club. Now, we know that NXT is separate. Pretty much, it's the main roster, air quote. But
yeah,
since Triple H is controlled, do you think that Triple H has this idea of being able to work with AEW? Is that even a possibility? Like, if we really think about it,
under Vince's control, I don't think so. With him being involved in the company, I don't think that would ever happen. As far as Triple H, I'm not quite sure what his mentality would be on such a thing. I know that they started working with Evolve and stuff, but they just acquired them essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. I think it would be in their best interest if they did.
Yeah.
Especially if they just left it with NXT and they didn't do any Raw or SmackDown type stuff and it was just all NXT. I think it'd be very beneficial. I mean, look at the people that they have. Even with just the Bullet Club members, they have AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Adam Cole. Like, if you could put all those guys under one roof and then somehow work out something with someone else where the other Bullet Club guys can come over, that'd be huge.
Yeah, it would be
huge. And I think it would even be bigger because it would be WWE opening their doors, which would be.
But I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
I don't think that's happening anytime soon, though.
No, I don't think it will ever happen. But if it did, you know, like, I saw a lot of people were like, "Oh, Kenta showing up on AEW Dynamite, it's not a big deal," and it's like, well, if you look at it as it just being Kenta, maybe not if you're not familiar with what he's doing over there, but the bigger picture,
everybody knows.
Yeah,
everybody knows that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's not Kenta's appearance isn't the thing that's blowing everyone out of the water. It's New Japan. You know, it's a bigger picture type deal. So if WWE could ever do something like that, props to them. But I don't think they would. We imagine the dream matches though.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I wonder if they're gonna ever, since I seen the graphic, I think that everybody posted up with the Kenny Omega and Kenta versus Archer and Moxley. He's holding the IWGP United States Championship. So I wonder if, like, after Moxley and Kenta have their match, would Moxley defend it on AEW since it's a working relationship?
So from what I understand, that Mox and Kenta match is happening like really soon, and it was already filmed. I think someone said it was filmed in December or something like that for New Japan Strong. So I would imagine that Kenta will have it. That would be my guess. But hopefully, since it's in the picture, I imagine he'll come out with it next week. I wonder how confusing that will be for their audience.
Yeah.
I would imagine that most of AEW's audience is aware of New Japan and stuff like that. But I don't know, just an interesting thought I had. Moxley didn't have a belt last week, but now he's got a big new shiny one.
I'm really interested in seeing Shaq versus Cody in the next couple of weeks in that mixed tag. I just really want to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that plays out. It's kind of scary to think about, but it's AEW at the same time, so hopefully they don't let us down, because that'll be pretty disappointing.
I think what it is, I think TNT just wants a bump in the ratings. I don't think it's going to be a huge bump. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like I would expect WWE to pull something like that with Shaq. I didn't expect AEW to go the whole celebrity right. They did it with Mike Tyson, and they kind of like dropped it out of nowhere because he had the thing with Jericho.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's just weird coming from AEW. I wouldn't expect it.
I mean, I would be more mad if it was Shaq going one-on-one with Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. I'd probably be a little bit more irritated. But
Right.
now it is just going to be on a standard episode of Dynamite. So that's good as well. And I'm hoping that it's just to bring eyes to Jade Cargill and Red Velvet now. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. But it'll also be very interesting to see how well that pays off for that episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be very interesting. I tell you, AEW has something special. I went to Double or Nothing actually. And man, I didn't know anything about like AEW. Like I knew who Kenny Omega was and everybody else, but like just being there at that event, like I could see like they have like some major players, like the young guys that they have. If you compare WWE young guys, if you want to call them young guys, because most of them are not. Like Keith Lee is like in his late 30s, Cesaro is like in his 40s. Like, but in AEW, you got these guys that's like 20 and 23, 24. Like they have some like major players, and like it's gonna be good. Like AEW and NXT are putting out some of the best content. Friday Night SmackDown is okay, and Raw is whatever. But Wednesdays are highlight. If you're a wrestling fan, Wednesdays is where you need to be at.
Have you prior to your visit for Double or Nothing, have you ever been to a WWE pay-per-view or show prior to that?
I've been to a couple. I've been to Royal Rumble 2010, WrestleMania 30.
Oh,
and 28, WrestleMania 28.
Oh, okay. So you're probably gonna have a way different answer than what I experienced. For me, I had only been to a couple of Raws and a couple of SmackDowns here and there prior to me, because I was at Double or Nothing as well. But for Double or Nothing, the atmosphere was just like, it was insane for me. Like it just felt like a whole different experience.
Different show.
It's hard to put in words, but I mean, being at a WrestleMania, that's probably incredible to be at.
It's two different feelings. Like even when I went to the AEW show that came to Atlanta with Cody doing the whole moonsault off the cage, and I've been to a couple Raws, and I've been to one SmackDown, and it's just like two different auras. It's like just two different companies just trying to put out product, and it's just like it's just two different feelings. You can't really explain it.
Yeah, it was. I can't describe it, but just the vibe, like everything was just so different, even though it was like the same. Like it's just a wrestling event, but it was incredible.
That the buzz. When I was like high in the nosebleeds, and I didn't get my tickets until I literally got off the plane for Double or Nothing. Like I literally told my mom, I was like, "Isn't that a wrestling show?" She was like, "Maybe." And I looked on AEW's Instagram. I was like, "Okay, let me check it out." I know some familiar faces, like I know Cody and everybody else. So I was just like, let me go see if there's tickets available. And it was like probably like 40 tickets left. And I just put my ticket like as soon as I got off the plane, and then that morning it was sold out. So that buzz when I seen Moxley kind of like moving through the crowd, I was just like, okay, who is this? Like, why is the crowd like getting like riled up? And then I seen Moxley come out. It was just like amazing.
Yeah, we were on the I woke up super early to secure tickets. Like I had like 5 computers going and everything to secure tickets, and we actually got floor seats for that. So we were like 3 or 4 seats, 3 or 4 rows back on the ground. And after the match, when everyone just started like losing their shit, neither one of us knew what was going on. And we're like, what is going on? Why is everyone going crazy? And then Mox showed up, and it was just like, it was mind blowing. Cause I was still on the whole thought that, I mean, actually probably not, because that video came out, but I really thought that Ambrose at the time, was staying with WWE. I thought all of that stuff was a work with the Shield pay-per-view and all that. But I think I kind of changed my mind once I saw the Moxley like prison break video. But it was still just like, it's so crazy to see him show up there. That was incredible.
Yeah. And another thing, like, I don't know if you rewatched the Brock breaking Undertaker's streak and seeing it on, like, watching it back on the WWE Network, but in the stadium, like, it compares to nothing. Like, it was, if you watch it on the network, it's just like a different feel. Like, and I was there, so it's just like,
I can't even imagine.
It was nothing. It was like dead. It was dead. Like when the Divas match came on, I think it was next. It was complete. You could hear a pin drop, and it was so many
just so
people
blown away.
Just, it was just.
That's
different.
crazy.
Like,
that's a huge one to be at.
Yeah,
huge. We did go to the Royal Rumble as well, the one where Becky and Seth won. And that was an incredible experience as well, being at the Rumble. There's just so much excitement with people coming out all the time. That was really fun, but still like completely different, like I was talking about with the AEW and the WWE ones.
Yeah, I don't know when the next time I'll be going to a wrestling event with all this pandemic stuff going on.
I have tickets to Double or Nothing.
It sucks. So is it still going to happen? Because if so, I gotta go.
So I have the tickets that I have are from last year's that got canceled because of the pandemic, and they said that you can keep them or refund you. So we had really good seats, so we kept them, and they're still good for this year. My fiance reached out to them like 2 weeks ago, I think like MGM, and they said that it's still going on, but it's the first event that they have back, so I'm not sure. We're kind of like, if it's not going to be in Vegas, I think we're both totally cool with flying to Jacksonville, because I want to be at Daly's place. I want to experience that. I think that venue is really cool. So I don't know, hopefully they honor our tickets for something like that too.
And it's no telling what's going to be in that card, since New Japan and all these other companies are involved. It's just, that card is, I have a feeling that card is going to be pretty big. I feel like all the AEW pay-per-views that's coming up are going to pretty much change AEW, because the first thing when AEW, and I didn't know about New Japan World like when AEW first came about, so it's just like, now that New Japan is involved, just like imagine the matches that we're going to get like within the next couple of years.
It's incredible. And that's the whole thing with AEW only having 4 pay-per-views a year. They actually feel valuable, like you can actually build up to them and blow off the steam from these huge feuds, where with what WWE is doing right now, you don't have that opportunity. And
that was one thing I couldn't really wrap my head around, was the 4 pay-per-views a year, because I'm not used to that. Like I'm used to pay-per-views every month, every 2 weeks, because WWE pushes them out like so fast. So it's just like, it builds more excitement. Like you always on your toes. Like, okay, AEW's pay-per-view coming up. Like, I'm super excited for Revolution. And if you would have told me like 4 or 5 years ago, that Sting would be in a rival company with Darby Allin, like in a street fight, like I would have told you was crazy.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah. I wouldn't have expected that either, and I'm excited. And they actually have the big fight feels, because it's only happens 4 times, so it actually feels like a pay-per-view, and it's worth paying for the $40-$50, whatever it is, to watch them. So it's good, man. It's very good. I'm very excited for the future of wrestling, and hopefully one day Raw and SmackDown will get on track as well, and then we'll just have, like, could you just imagine? like amazing Raw on Monday, good Impact Tuesday.
Just a straight week of just amazing wrestling.
It'd be so good, man. So good.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. All right, man. I think that's going to do it for me, though. I appreciate the conversation. It's been incredible. Yep. Thank you so much for that.
Yep. You too.
All right, have a good night, man.
For having me on.
Yeah, anytime. All right, let me disconnect from this void chat here. Okay, perfect. See you later, Bob. I appreciate you tuning in, man. Thank you so much. Let's see. How's the situation of the pandemic in the US? Not very good. Not very good. We have some vaccines going around. They just started them, but I'm not quite sure how well that's going to go for the rest of us. Tamber, no, I will not be covering the NBA playoffs. No, I don't watch basketball like at all whatsoever. Only football and wrestling. But anyways, that is going to do it for me tonight. That hits the 2 hour mark. Like I said, I'm still going to try to have a show on Tuesday or Thursday. So tomorrow or Thursday. Not quite sure if we're going to be able to do it, but if not, if I can't do one tomorrow, we'll do one on Wednesday as well for the Dynamite show. We'll go through the review and then open up the floors for the rest of the night. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys all enjoyed the show tonight, and I will see you all maybe tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Wednesday for the AEW Dynamite post show. Have a good rest of your nights, and I will see you then. Peace.